And we are back in the Manimal Zone with Kerry Stellar in the girls' corner. I am John, the Manimal Beneduce. Kerry, what's good? How's life in a struggle?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Life is exciting. The fights were great this weekend. There's another fight card coming this weekend. And what's to complain?
Yeah, I mean, this fight card this weekend was really good. Someone said, let's go start with the main event. Someone was telling me they thought the main event was boring.
What?
I don't think so at all.
What were they watching?
I don't know. I thought the main event was really entertaining. I love Colby Covington.
He was great.
I wish Tyrone Woodley would have tried to pull the trigger a little more.
But
he tried. He did throw hard a few shots.
Did you hear the excuses he was making?
What?
Oh, excuse after excuse. No, he shouldn't have he should have powered through it, this and that.
What, the broken rib?
Yeah, he went on and 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 on. Yeah.
But he was already losing that fight.
Exactly.
After the third round, he really had no juice. No. He took that eye poke. He took like 7 minutes.
Yeah, he did.
For that eye poke, just to get his win back.
That's exactly why he did it.
It's almost worse sometimes.
I know.
I'm going to tell you something.
Because you're adrenaline.
And then you can wind up with an adrenaline dump, and now you have no power output. So he took that break. Yeah. Listen, he did get poked in the eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not denying that.
Yeah. And then he took his time. He really took his time.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, is it good to take that much time? Maybe not.
Maybe it made his adrenaline dump. Maybe because he was gassed.
Yeah, oh, big time.
Tyrone was really gassed. And listen, it's a sacrifice. When you have all that power output, you have to sacrifice something. And Tyrone did a good job in those fights with, like, Wonder Boy of conserving his energy.
Oh, yeah.
But Covington is wrestling him. And so it's hard to conserve your energy when he's wrestling.
Nobody thought he was going to be
that first takedown Covington did was beautiful.
It was amazing.
He jab crossed, and then Woodley's like, oh, now I'm going to take your head off, and he just went right under him. And I think that just set the tone.
One punch that Woodley threw that was great was off the cage.
See, Woodley actually wasn't even doing his own style right.
No.
So Woodley does something that I try to mimic. When you're fighting to range your opponent, he plants his... So, Kerry, what he does is he plants his foot to the cage. To the cage so that he can spring off.
Yeah.
But in this fight, he was being flat on that back foot. On his back was on the cage.
Yep.
And he did that in the Usman fight too. That you can't. He messed up his own style. His style is to back up to the cage and knock you out.
Big time.
Or try to land one shot and then turn you to the cage. But he didn't even do his own style right.
No.
Because I'm telling you, he was tired and he got the pressure. Covington puts a lot of pressure.
He does. He's a pressure fighter, and he was
pushing
the pace. He was pushing the pace. He was. And a lot of people are like, yo, it was so funny because immediately after, everybody's like, yo, he's going to keep on talking shit and get his ass kicked. It's like, first off, he really wasn't talking shit and nothing racist. He's a pro-Trumper. Let's start out with that. Okay? And they were like, oh, he's not going to be able to do the same thing to Usman. That was a good fight. Yes, he broke his jaw.
And still kept fighting.
Thank you. And I have so much respect for that. And I think he's going to come back.
He's underrated tough.
He's very underrated tough. And I think that you're going to see a very different fight with him and Usman. But I think they're going to have him fight Jorge first. Wait, no, but Jorge's slated to fight Nate. It's not going to happen.
So. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, so they're going to have to,
Unless they
I'm so excited. When he called him Street Judas, I was like, yo, he's here, red pill, there, red pill, everywhere, red pill, red pillin'.
I was just thinking I'm going to have to figure out how to edit this together after it's... No, I'm not going to edit this out.
That was kind of funny.
No, I'm not technically savvy enough to edit this out.
One day I do want you to take... that has to be a clip of me saying that.
You are on
Everybody wear red pill, red pill.
You are on camera.
Yes,
so I'll have to edit that, first 8 minutes in.
Yeah, I just want to show you.
So, wait, what were we talking about? Oh, Covington. So Covington was very competitive against Usman. Very competitive against Usman. And I'd like to see them rematch. Oh, and he was so pro-Trump afterwards. I know you are super pro-Trump.
Look at that. And that's nothing against him.
So Kerry's super pro-Trump.
I loved it. I thought, first off, okay, listen. If you're going to be that person and be all in for a movement and the president and the MAGA thing, do it. Own it and do it. And he's owned it so hard that it's like, you know what? I can't hate on that. If he owned loving Joe Biden, even though I don't like him, I would have respect for it. Own it and do it. And you want to know what? People can hate on him all they want to, but those people haven't gotten a phone call from the fucking president right after their fight. Those people were not introduced at a rally by the president. Actually, no. You had Henry Cejudo was there, Colby Covington, Justin Gaethje, Henry Cejudo. So he had the United Nations, and Ali Abdelaziz. He literally put the United Nations front row just to show people, look, everybody's
I told you the worst part about that. Tito Ortiz didn't make the cut. Poor Tito.
No, he's not in Vegas. That was in Vegas.
Oh,
so when he goes to California, Tito will probably be front row and center. Because Tito's a huge. But I have to say my favorite part. I don't know if it was the Marty fake newsman, and then he was like, "Street Judas." And it's people like, okay, well, he said that because obviously he's really into, I would just say without even like thinking, he's into the Q movement because they're all like God wins and that's the whole thing. So that's why he called him Street Judas, because Jorge calls himself Street Jesus. So there was a whole meaning behind that. But the Marty fake newsman definitely made me laugh my ass off. I've never laughed so hard. And then when Trump called him at the presser, and he's like, I'm the best I've ever looked. And he literally said that. He goes, I'm the best I've ever looked. Oh, the POTUS is calling. Mr. President. It was the cutest thing I ever saw. It was like a little kid that just got everything he wanted on Christmas. Just like this, the POTUS is calling.
I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you.
And Megan was like, this has never happened on
even
UFC
when
history.
You don't. I think Colby Covington is a true Trump supporter.
Oh, yes.
I don't think it's bullshit.
It's not a fake act.
And I told you, I don't want to get political, but I told you I have the New York problem with Trump.
I know. It is what it is. You're allowed.
It is what it is, and it's tough.
Yeah.
But I respect someone that goes full in on what they believe in.
Yeah.
So Covington, even though it might be a little fake, like some of it.
It's actually not. When I went to that rally yesterday.
Like the fake suits.
No, those fucking people are like.
No, Covington plays it up. He wears a cheap suit instead of wearing an expensive suit.
Okay, well that I can get.
This is on purpose.
That I can get.
He's trying to be corny.
Yeah. No, he is. He's got that personality.
I mean? Like, he's trying to be cringy.
And if you ever went to like a Trump rally, he's a typical Trump rally MAGA supporter. He really is. Like, I've never seen anything like that yesterday. It was great. It was like a fucking spectacle.
But Covington had to do that role because he wasn't getting any attention.
No, it gave him attention. A platform.
And I tell you what.
And he's been in the fucking White House. Show me another fighter that has.
I'm going to tell you this. Anything you want to say about Covington? When the fucking bell rings, that dude is a fighter. Like, he is, whatever shit he talks outside the cage.
He's a fighter.
When he was in the cage with Woodley, I tell you what, there's sometimes that I believe in sportsmanship. There's times you touch gloves.
Yes.
But he was talking shit to Woodley, and Woodley was talking shit to him.
No,
and when it came time to fight,
they fought.
Woodley went to touch gloves, and Covington shook his head no.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, they were fighting.
And there was another point too that Woodley tried to
Tyrone tried to touch gloves in the fourth round, and Covington was all business.
Yeah, I love that.
There was no shit talking by Covington during the fight.
No.
In between rounds, Covington's a professional.
Yeah.
I think people don't understand that.
Kayla Harrison says it. He's as professional as it comes.
Just because he has showmanship and a shtick, he has a little bit of a shtick.
Absolutely.
And
big time.
Yeah.
And it's worked.
And he had to sell it.
And it fucking works for him, though.
I'm going to tell you what.
He's got 547,000 followers. That's a lot.
I'm going to tell you what. I bet you Covington wishes he didn't have to do it.
I'm sure.
I bet you he wishes he could just train in the gym and show up to the fight.
Do you know how much I wish I didn't have to actually go to a rally to support the president? Like, that was really fucking... I had to do that. It was pretty fucking sad. But I get it.
But
who wants to have to do that?
Like, Covington doesn't want to have to... No, even the shit talking.
Nobody wants to have to do that. Like,
he wants to just show up and fight because he's a good fighter.
He's a fighter.
He's a good fighter.
He's very well-rounded.
And his striking looked better in this fight.
He's so well-rounded.
His striking looked good in this fight.
Yeah.
And, now he's a threat because he's striking with you, he's striking with you. And now he's taking you down.
Yeah, and he's great in the clinch. He's just a guy. He's got a pocket full of shit.
And what did he say? You heard what he said? He was like, listen, Tyrone Woodley's rib broke. Mm-hmm. He's like, but he knew.
Oh, yeah.
That I was going to free myself.
Oh.
You know what happened? So, Kerry, what happened was, get me in the guillotine. He's going for the guillotine, and he went to Von Flue.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And he went to pull him.
Yep.
And when he went to pull him into the Von Flue choke, he broke his rib.
Yeah.
Because Covington...
Covington also softened him up a lot with those kicks. Body kicks. You can't say that. People cannot say that doesn't have an effect.
Yeah.
You cannot say that doesn't have an effect when you're literally constantly kicking a guy in the same spot, and he did. Not that it only the same spot, but he softened his ribs.
He softened them up on that side.
Big time. Big time.
And now you pressure him.
Big time.
You weaken it, pressure it.
Yeah. Smart. And when he cut his eyes, that was I mean, it's a dick move, but it's the smartest thing you could do. It gives somebody 2 eye cuts above or below their eye, and all it's going to do is run into their eye, and they can't see. If you can't see, you can't fight, and Woodley could not see. It's a dick move, but it's a fight.
My first fight back, Mohegan Sun, I got a cut under this eye. And you know what my opponent did?
What?
Kicked me and punched me in the cut, which is what he's supposed to do.
You know, Georgia St. Pierre did that to someone. I forget who he was fighting and just kept on going after that. It might have been Dan Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
He kept on going after it. And I was literally like this at one point. I can't watch this anymore. Like, there's a part of me that then I don't want to watch somebody get brutalized. It's weird.
You know,
is that
who's
weird?
too nice?
Is that fucking weird? Now, they're not a fight or flight thing. It's just like, oh my God, that's a human person. Like, he's gonna have to walk out of here like this.
You know who's too nice? Roxanne Maldafieri.
I love her.
Remember when Macy Barber broke her leg?
Yeah.
Yo, if she wanted to be a dick, you see what Charlie did, Campbell.
Yeah.
You hurt your leg, I kick you in your leg. Like, Roxanne was like, no.
Yeah,
she's like, I'm gonna side control now. It's like, I'm not just gonna make you stand up and kick you in your broken leg.
Yeah.
She could have did.
Absolutely.
But she decided not to, and I was like, "That she's so mercy."
She's awesome. And then there's like
awesome.
Mark Hunt does that. He was a big fan of showing mercy to people. If he knocked you out, you were knocked out. Why take unnecessary? Why really throw an extra couple shots if you don't need to? And the refs need to recognize that now. If there's a fighter that's out and he's like, "Listen, look at what you know what I mean? Are you fucking kidding me?"
If I can have a conversation with you and the other dude's on the floor,
the fight is over.
I think about this sometimes. I might leave. Like, let's say I really fucking drop a guy or choke him out, and you get up and the dude's like, keep going, I'd be like, I'm good, guys.
Yeah, sorry, my time is over right now.
And
it's true because,
it's a sport. Remember,
it is, but why do you want to... You don't want to take somebody out from being able to do that sport or hurt them because they need to get brain damage. There's a lot of weird levels of this.
I don't want my opponent to have permanent damage either.
I agree.
I pray to the gods. I pray to Odin before the fight that safely to the battle we ride, safely we come back. I want the victory, but I would like my opponent to be as healthy as possible for me to get the victory. Like, I don't want him to be all fucked up for life. I don't hate the guy. It's a sport. No,
it is what it is. And that's the thing.
It's not like, did you see that video I sent you of the guy the uncle?
Oh, yeah, of course I did.
It's not like that where the guy was trying to rape your kid and then you broke both his arms. Like, that's a different story.
Well, no, and let me tell you something.
Fight's a pro fight.
It is.
We're paid professionals.
It is. And this is, I just really want to cut into that. People, specifically women and young people, really need to, and I was speaking to a bunch of young people yesterday, and I said, you all should really learn to protect yourselves for reasons like this, that you are in a situation right now that I'm telling you, these older guys that are flipping the fuck out, they're flipping the fuck out for a reason, you might want to fucking step off. You know what I mean? Because there's now this is about to be some old man shit, and there was about to be an old dude fight, and these were all older guys, so I was like, yo.
Well, I mean, the problem is, listen.
Even the young people have to.
I think everyone should learn jiu-jitsu.
Agitators everywhere, you have to learn how to protect yourself right now specifically.
Listen, I think everyone should learn jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Listen, I live in New York City, so I don't have a lot of experience with legal guns. Right? In other parts of the country, you have more guns.
Texas.
Yeah. The only good thing about the gun is you can grab it. As defense, I can grab someone's gun if you're close.
Oh, yeah.
I think awareness is important. But I think now martial arts is really important.
Super important.
First of all, don't be
imperative. Let's throw that out. Don't put yourself in a situation that you can't fight your way out of.
And now, there's going to be... I think domestic terrorism is going to become a problem.
It is. I witnessed it yesterday. I witnessed it firsthand, and I'm not even going to get into it because it was live on my Facebook, and everybody could go look at it. But it was the most daunting, eye-opening, weird experience I think I've ever witnessed and been a part of. And the fact that people are, because when I said, I'm like, literally, I looked at the dude and I was like, are you Antifa? Dead ass. And he literally stopped and didn't even know what to say. So this guy turns around and goes, this motherfucker's paid to be here. Like, what do you people are really that ignorant that you think he's not? I'm like, oh, I know he is. I know exactly what's going on.
I'm going to have to get a button.
I know.
But that stops us. Okay.
I stopped.
So Colby Covington, let's bring it back. Covington looked great. Now they're gonna set up Kamaru Usman.
If you pause that, I'm gonna run again. I have.
Okay, I'll keep going. So they're gonna look to set up Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns next.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because they're both ranked at the appropriate level for them to fight each other, right? Number one contender fights for the title. Thank God they're finally following some kind of title contention.
Are you kidding me? Like,
and
we've been needing that for so long.
I mean, they already jumped Gilbert Burns once to throw Masvidal in, but that was extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, Covington really has a choice. He could wait for a rematch, which is his choice. I like a fight with him and Masvidal. Masvidal just lost to Usman.
I actually love that.
Covington lost to Usman. Masvidal
but they're
lost to Usman.
Nate's fighting him unless the guys see it differently.
Maybe they can mix it up.
Unless they see it differently, because they
give
need to
Nate
put Nate.
Conor 3.
I would fucking love that. Nate, because Conor doesn't have a fight right now.
No.
Nate Conor 3 would be the best. First off, did you see the meme? What could turn 2020 around? And it was Trump's face over Elon Musk with the blunt in his hand, and it's like,
oh yeah.
And what could turn 2020 around? That's actually it, and they are talking about that right now. That's a big movement people don't even know about in Congress. They're moving for it.
Weed.
Are you kidding me? I'm all on top of this. I know what's going on every day. But let me just really interrupt you for 1 second. What could turn 2020 around for sports fans everywhere is something like that, because everybody. Conor McGregor's a household name.
Yeah,
everybody knows who he is. And because of him, everybody, I hate to say it, normal everyday people know who Nate Diaz is because of Conor McGregor fight. I don't want to say...
And Nate's a great personality.
Now, MMA people know who Nate Diaz is because, we've been watching fights forever. I know I have to clean it.
No, you broke a tentacle.
I know. Son of a bitch, my friend did actually.
So Nate Diaz is a Nate now too.
Yeah, so people are going to watch that, and that could very much turn 2020 around for sports fans, because people are pissed at other sports, rightfully so. People are like, and somebody said, oh, you don't want politics in sports until Colby Covington did it. He didn't put politics in sports. He was just saying who he's a fan of. And when he told people to go out and vote, he didn't say go out and vote for Red and vote for Tom. He said people go out and vote. That was it. And that's all he should say. Rock the vote. I hate to say MTV phrase, but everybody should. It's what we fucking fought for. I like that he doubled
down on his bullshit, too. He was like, oh, LeBron James, these woke-ass fake woke.
I love it.
They fake woke.
Well, they are. You got LeBron James walking around with a fucking Malcolm X book, and he's backing a socialism, liberal fucking party, and Malcolm X was very against white liberals. He said they are the fucking downfall of society. They are the devil.
And hold on.
People don't know what they're doing.
And hold on. They wear shoes made in slave factories where people get paid $4 a month.
In China.
In China and Indonesia, where we go and exploit the fuck out of them.
Shoes. I'm like, don't get into that now.
Where they go exploit every fucking body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you're okay. Now you want to protest your sport that you're getting paid billions of dollars, but you want to take your contract. And that's okay. But you wear your shoes that are made with slave labor.
All of them.
And talk again.
All of them. And you're gonna talk shit to the common man, which we all are
middle
now.
Class.
You're gonna talk shit and tell us, one, we're deplorables. Two, we should all follow you because you know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'm sorry, none of these people know what the fuck they're talking about.
I'm gonna tell you what I know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't even. Well, no, I can't say that because I have PDF files of truth.
What happens with celebrities is because you're good at one thing, you think you're good at everything.
Oh no, they're ego-driven, hardcore.
Well, I told you that book Humankind I read. He was saying that at the top 1%, everyone's a sociopath.
Yeah.
He's like, so we are like following all these like sociopaths, which is
not
probably
us,
true.
but there are regular people that are.
Yeah.
When I went to the Jay-Z concert and watched everybody do that, I freaked out. Go on.
We're gonna have to back it up.
Yeah, great.
We go back to fighting.
I have no.
Guys,
don't
if
think
we
it like
any,
I'm fucking doing it. We're both trying to talk about.
That's true. If
shit.
anyone likes to hear our insanity, let us know.
Yeah, because we can go more into that.
Another great fight. I found very entertaining. Donald Cerrone versus Nico Price Cowboy. I found that fight entertaining.
I wasn't upset about that call either.
Another eye poke.
He's like, oh, fuck it. I'm like, who cares?
Well, the eye poke struck again. So the eye poke was very influential in this fight.
Yeah, so Donald Cerrone's face was like, what are you happy about, motherfucker? It was so
because Nico Price prayed to the gods. He prayed to the gods.
He didn't want to hurt Donald Cerrone.
No, he didn't want Donald. He was like, listen, I don't want to lose. He was like, but I don't want Donald Cerrone to lose.
420%.
He's like, I want to beat him.
Like, he's a fan of him.
Yeah, which Nico Price won the fight,
absolutely.
technically, right?
Yeah, big time.
Because without the eye poke, he wins.
Yep.
He gets that point.
Yep.
He wins.
Yep.
So it's a majority draw. So Nico Price was like, yes. He's like, I had a great fight.
I didn't have to hurt Donald Cerrone.
He didn't lose.
Yeah.
He's like, Donald Cerrone didn't lose.
And he didn't. I mean, he like fucking tore him up. He was like, that was fight, first round was amazing. But
that first round was rough.
It was the best thing I've ever watched. And I love Donald Cerrone, so it's not like it's just
and it wasn't totally one-sided.
No, and the back and forth was amazing. That was a dramatic fight. Now, I was very okay with the decision. I really was. I wasn't upset about it, and I really felt the same thing, that he was almost like not a fanboy, but in a real way, you're fighting a legend, and why would you want to, like, it's somebody that you really have, like, admire and have a respect for and all that stuff. I get it.
And you got to draw with him. You're like, listen.
This is the best fucking thing ever.
You're like, I didn't want to give you a loss.
Yeah.
And I don't really need to have a win over you.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm a fan.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, yeah.
We fought. It was a great fight.
Cerrone's fucking is walked out like, are you kidding me? Like, why are you so excited?
Yeah. The guy was so excited.
I know. But I wonder if, like, he gets it now. You know what I mean? I wonder if somebody put it into perspective. Like, bro, like, he's a fan. Like, you know, there's fans in fighting. There very much is.
That's why I wanted to fight BJ, because I was like, oh, it'd be, you know.
I know. There's a lot of fans. It's funny, but
and I'm a grappler. Oh, what I got? So that fight was great. Whether the early first round, Nico Price. Nico Price, did you hear what he screamed out?
No.
I did okay.
Is that what he said?
I did okay. He's like, I did okay. It's like, how'd you do? Okay. How'd your job go today?
It went all right.
All right. It's like, I did. How'd it go? Okay. I went okay. I did okay.
That is hysterical.
It's like, I did okay.
I love him. Yes. You know, that wins me over more.
He celebrated.
I don't care. I love personalities. And that's why I think there's a lot of regular people that are starting to, like, I have people that message me like, oh, are you watching the fights? I'm like, are you? Like, regular people are getting into it because these guys have huge personalities. And right now, what's really awesome is I'm watching a lot of people in the truth movement that are sharing post-fight speeches that happen to be either really inspiring or really crazy, and they're all sharing them. So MMA is getting attention that it's never had. Ever, and I can honestly say that. I can say that. I'm seeing it as a journalist, and I could say from a fan's perspective, just from seeing my friends that have never watched MMA, that are like, oh, this shit is actually good. My friend Lori was like, oh, she's like, I think I'm gonna start watching UFC with you. I'm like,
it's one of the, you know, it's like a perfect time. Coronavirus
why not?
is great for MMA because if you're a fighter that's in shape, you could get a ton of fights in already.
All the social injustice issues right now.
Speaking of getting a ton of fights in, so Kazimov Chimaev.
Yeah.
So Chimaev made the quickest turnaround time for 3 fights, 66 days. So he fought 3 times in just over 2 months.
That's insane.
Fastest turnaround ever. Crushed everyone. In this fight,
smashed.
He smashed. He came to smash.
He came
I
to
see
smash
the passport
everyone.
you put up on in the girls' corner.
He came to smash everyone.
His occupation, MMA beast.
I love it.
You know,
that's the best thing I've ever. I almost thought it was fake at first, and then when I saw like RT Sports, but I'm like, wow, okay. So I went and like tried to look it up and like find the actual documents, which you can't find a document for something like that. But I did do enough research that I said, okay, I found one credible source that I felt like that was credible enough. And I said, you know what, I'm rocking with this. Because I believe in a journalist perspective that you are supposed to have at least, at the very least, 3 reliable sources. 3 like real hardcore that you know it's a fact, and then like now it's hard to say. So what I do is I say, okay, I'm gonna look it up, and if I find 85% truth, I'm rocking it. Because you want to know what? They can't fact check me on that shit.
Hold on, Kerry. I'm gonna tell you this.
25% is lies.
Whether or not that passport is accurate.
It's the best thing I've ever seen.
It should be. It's an MMA beast. And then what did it say? Reason for visit?
Smash everyone.
Smash everyone. And he smashed Gerald Machar.
Like, that was literally the best thing I've ever fucking seen. I mean, like,
Kerry,
you want to know how I know it's real?
It's just so hard.
Do you want to know how I know it's real? I'll show you.
I don't care. Stop.
No.
Whether it's real or not, it should be.
I want to prove it to you.
It doesn't matter.
I want to tell everybody. Stop.
No, but let's talk about Kazmat. So, he's been hyped. He was like the biggest favorite.
Because the number's fucking taken off.
And we have the same birthday.
That they went over his number. Proof right
they
there.
went over his number. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, but whatever.
They whited it out. You can't put somebody's fucking serial number up.
But then they did the same thing to put like MMA beast over it. I know. Whatever. It should be true.
I'm gonna dig through that picture.
If it's not true, it ought to be.
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Kazma, I mean, listen, I was underestimated. I was like, I don't think he's as good as they say. I feel bad for Mearshot. I wish he would have had a better showing.
Yeah. Oh, I like him too. I'm friendly with him.
Yeah,
I'm friendly with. We've actually spoke. He's a really nice guy. Like really nice guy.
I like him. It's like it's sad to see him losing like that.
Like I like nice people. Their whole camp is great. He trains out of Milwaukee, out of
Duke Rufus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
there's a whole Jared Gordon does, Bilal Muhammad does. They just have they have a great fucking camp. Bro.
It was sad.
Yeah.
Sad for him. But he tweeted out right after the fight, "Oh well,
yeah,
that sucks.
It's the fight game.
It's the fight game."
Well, that's
and that guy's like super hyped. I mean, he's ready to fight. So he says he's gonna make the quickest turnaround time ever.
Yeah.
4 fights.
That's awesome.
In what is that going to be? 96 days.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Incredible. In just a little over 3 months, he's going to have 4 fights at 2 different weight classes. He is a beast. Against Damian Maia, which I find sad too, because I don't want to see Damian Maia get knocked out.
Oh, I know. That's going to be the worst thing to see, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is the fight game. And that's,
I don't like that the UFC does that. Damian Maia should be fighting another guy who's a legend, who's, you know what I mean? 100%. Why are you going to make him fight
Don't put him up
just as a sacrificial
Don't put him up as on a crusher. Come on. Like, it's ridiculous at this point.
Give him...
He's done so much.
Other guys want to fight
Kaz. For the sport.
And jiu-jitsu in MMA. You know, why do you want to... And they did that to BJ Penn too.
Yeah, and I do my homework, and people don't see that from the perspective of... Okay, so there's a perspective of a fan that's like, okay, I just want to see someone get crushed. You know, like you hear them take somebody's head off. They were talking about that on the news the other day. Like, I forget who it was. It was definitely on OAN. Anyway, and, you hear it from that perspective, and of course fans want to see him, murking and all that stuff, but then you look at it from a perspective like what you and I are talking about, and knowing the sports history and all these guys' history, and actually being a fan, but a journalist, and having, interviewed so many of these people. Yeah, I can't help but to go, you're talking about a guy that did a ridiculous amount for the sport as a whole, jiu-jitsu. There's just,
and
you could go on and on and on.
Tail end of his career.
Yeah.
You're taking the guy at the fucking tail end of his career and putting him against the guy who's surging.
A killer.
Like, could Damian Maia beat him? Yes, I could see him.
Absolutely.
I can see
experience, old man, strength,
experience, getting it to where he's good jiu-jitsu, catching him overcommitted. But it's probably not going to happen that way. I see what they're setting up. It's like Gilbert Burns. He's even a better Gilbert Burns.
Yeah. They're setting up, it's just is what it is.
So I don't like to see that.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize sometimes is you're going to have a more competitive, more entertaining fight when you match up the right guys.
Big time.
Remember Nogueira Shogun?
Yes.
That fight they just matched up, that was a great fight. Very entertaining, very competitive.
Who didn't want to see that?
2 older guys, 2 legends competing against each other. That was a good fight.
Fights.
I like legend fights. Because they lose nothing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. It's exactly. What do you lose? So... Because you have training and I have to work a little bit. Yeah. So before that, I want to really quick get into the 2 really great fights that I loved on Invicta on Thursday. Just get into 2 really fast.
There was a good girl fight on the UFC too.
Oh yeah, it was Mackenzie Dern.
Mackenzie Dern, beautiful.
Yeah, she was amazing. And Randa Marcos, we could do that Thursday.
Randa Marcos is good, beautiful jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
I thought she was smarter than she is though. When I seen her throw the high kick and fall, I wrote down misdirection, question mark. Right, so let's say you're really good on the ground. I might throw a fucking shot and miss and fall on purpose.
Yeah.
And now you're thinking, oh, I got you. And she got up.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, is Mackenzie Dern, really good at misdirection? And afterwards,
she's very smart.
But then afterwards, she was like, oh, I threw the kick. I felt so embarrassed.
She's awesome. She's got such a good personality. She's so humble. I'm a big fan of her. I always have been. Before MMA, I was a fan of her.
Wait, I want to say something about Mackenzie Dern that I find completely amazing. How is she better after having a kid than before having a kid? How does she fucking make 115 now?
Michelle Waterson.
Now, wait, no.
There's
but
something
now she makes 115 before she was missing 125.
I'm going to tell you a couple reasons of what I think.
Okay,
from a woman's perspective.
Give me a woman's
only
perspective.
Only because I kind of know a little bit about
Let me give you the preface.
I'm not a mom, but
she missed 125 multiple times.
Yeah.
Now she makes 115, no problem.
No problem.
And she's still stacked.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your opinion?
She could still be breastfeeding. breastfeeding makes you lose weight, oddly enough. That's how girls stay skinny after they have kids, generally.
Boobs look
they're
thick.
gigantic.
They look gigantic.
So I can say I would put my money on that she's still breastfeeding, and that's a big part of it. But I also think that with the nutrition of having to have a kid, and even after, she's found what she needed to do. She probably lost a considerable amount of weight after she had the baby, so she's probably walking around and said, let me just stay at this weight. So she's not having to cut as much weight. If you look at it from all those perspectives, that all lines up to me.
I mean, I know a lot of women, like, think about it, I'm a personal trainer,
sense, right?
and usually when I have female clients that have kids, what do they always say? I can't lose weight. Since I had kids, my body's changed. I usually don't see the opposite.
Think about, you have a fighter that already probably, they said she was training right after she had the baby. They said like almost immediately she was in the gym. So what I think is she wanted to get down to a certain weight so she doesn't have to cut too much anymore, and was able to then nail down her whole diet and everything.
She looks great at 115. She
had the opportunity to.
She's finished 2 fights by submission very quickly.
Oh yeah.
That one she caught the knee bar, and then this fight she got the arm bar.
That was awesome.
Beautiful. She shifted. So she went over the one armpit, shifted it over into the other armpit.
Just the way she did that was great.
And I mean, got that breaking power.
That was great.
Really. And she had that leg stuck. The second she freed that leg, she was able to get her hips into it. Marcos was doing the right thing by trying to trap that leg and not let it go. Because that was the only thing keeping her from applying that breaking pressure.
Yeah.
Once she was able to free the leg, game over. And Marcos is a good grappler in her own right.
Yeah. Oh, she is. Yeah.
It was just jiu-jitsu skills. See, this is why I love jiu-jitsu.
You're talking about
because it gives you the ability.
World champion. In jiu-jitsu.
She beat Gabby Garcia
times
in jiu-jitsu.
Over.
She beat Gabby Garcia in
jiu-jitsu. Who's a giant.
Giant black belt.
And comparatively, you're talking about Davey and Goliath. In female.
I mean, you see Gabby Garcia.
Davey and Goliath in female form.
Massive. You know what I want to do? I wish we could edit in like a picture of Gabby Garcia at the weigh-ins with like some.
No, but you know what would be really cool
massive.
If they ever did a
if
they ever decided to do
no drug test.
No, if they ever decided to, like, if she ever decided, you know what, I want to take a super fight with like Gabby Garcia and Risen, that she might be the only person to beat her in MMA.
The only problem is Gabby Garcia is so big.
But if she was able to do it in jiu-jitsu,
I bet Amanda Nunes would fuck up Gabby Garcia.
She might be able to.
I bet Amanda Nunes would beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, she might be able to.
She'd be hitting that big bitch all over the place.
Yeah, she
Amanda Nunes would fuck her up.
Yeah.
I definitely know it.
Yeah, she punches like a man.
I don't even know if that's the case.
She's got
strength. She has real power.
More than she'd take out some guys. So I would venture to say she's got.
I bet you if she fought in a 135,
she honed in that man's strength that she's got, and that's not a bad thing. Some women walk around with more testosterone than they do.
I don't know.
A lot of women have high oddly enough, there's a runner, I think.
If Amanda Nunes fought in the 135-pound guys division, would she be top 20?
I'd say so.
I don't know.
Maybe 125. Could she even get down there? No, 135 I think she could be. But it's a different strength. It's such a different strength.
I know. It's so different.
It really
That's
is.
why
I don't care what anybody says, it's a different strength.
Sport.
No, you can't.
Because it's always guys fucking doing it in the girls division. It's never a girl doing it in the guys division and killing it.
Because there's a reason.
There's never the opposite. It's always a guy.
There's a reason. And then there's something I want to get into, one off camera and two maybe on another podcast that I actually think is really interesting because of that, what you just said.
Let's go back to the ladies. So
we have 3 minutes
that was
left.
Enough for, what do we got?
3 minutes left.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like really the last round was what I think solidified everything. She had her, I mean the whole time she really owned it, but she had her against the cage and there was no, Jen couldn't even get out of there.
Yeah.
And I love Jennifer. She's beautiful. She's awesome. I can't say enough great things about her. She's mom. But yeah, shit happens. And then my friend Alicia Zappatella winning the title, Atom Weight World title. I called that. I said it to a lot of people.
She called the Von Flue choke.
The first one ever in Invicta FC.
For a girl.
No, in Invicta FC, yeah.
First female to get a Von
I think in
Flue
general
choke.
and in Invicta.
I think so, because the Von Flue choke is a strong man move. But Alicia is fucking so little and she looks strong. I mean, I'll tell you what, I like to ask.
She looked better in
Lindsay
that fight. Oh, she said she's ridiculously strong.
Like, she looks crazy
She
strong.
told me she's ridiculously strong because
Yeah,
she said,
she
like,
looks
when she gets you
crazy
on the draft, she's just so strong.
Because you want to do your jiu-jitsu, and it's like, damn, this girl's strong.
When you have a girl that's, like, on top of you that you can't
And she looks like she's short, jacked.
Yeah. And you know what? She looked the best she's looked in a long time in that fight. With Lindsay, they thought she was tiring out in the third. But after watching her in a championship fight, and she ended it in I think it might have been the fourth or fifth. After seeing that, and she wasn't tired whatsoever.
I gotta finish.
That was a whole different ball game, and maybe, there's something to be said for, kind of slowing your pace a little bit for the third round. And I think, if anything, a personal opinion, I watched that fight, she got more rocked in the third round than she did. A lot of that was Lindsay's got great hands. Yeah. She's a great striker, so she rocked her quite a few times.
Oh, Lindsay had the third round in that fight.
Rocked her quite a few times, and that was more of the difference than her being tired. Now, Alicia was able to utilize the fact that she has to get in with you to be able to strike. She's so tiny. And she utilizes that and then takes you down, pushes you against the cage. She's a high pressure fighter. She really is. It was a great fight, very smart for her, and I personally think there's bigger things on the horizon for her.
Got the submission.
Yeah, she said she wants to take a couple months off because she's 25. She's been training since she was a child.
She just fought twice pretty close.
She's been training since she was a little kid. She was wrestling since she was 3 or 4.
And she's having tough fights.
Yeah, all tough fights. They don't give her easy fights whatsoever.
She went the distance with Lindsay.
Yeah, when she fought Vivienne, then that girl could have knocked her out.
This fight 4 or 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So she's getting tough fights. Like that guy Kazmat, yeah, he fought 3 times in 66 days. But he was smashing.
Yeah.
He smashed.
Yeah.
He smashed everyone.
He was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to not,
I agree.
feel the hype train now.
I know. I concur.
It's tough to not feel the hype train. Let me see. What other fights were there?
Yeah, because I got to split in a minute.
Yeah,
I have to go
me too. I got to
babysit. If you guys don't know, I watch kids
Mackenzie Dern versus Marcos Osgate. Kevin Holland got decision against Stewart. Close fight. Stewart came out great in the third. Yeah, I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
Guys, stay tuned. We are now exiting the Manimal Zone.
Thursday we might have some awesome special.
May have special news for Thursday. Stay posted. Stay tuned. You can find me at Manimal John. I guess if they found this podcast, they probably would have went that way.
Yeah. You can find me at Kerry Stellar in the Girls Corner everywhere.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have some sponsors to start hyping up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Soon. We will.
This is a good time.
Yeah.
All right.
Super excited. Deuces. Exiting the Manimal Zone.